The film opens by introducing a highly classified CIA unit known as Overwatch, a covert strike team led by the aggressive and uncompromising James Silva. Their mission begins with the infiltration of a secret safe house operated by Russia's Federal Security Service, shockingly located on American soil. Overseeing the operation from a secure remote command center is James Bishop, who monitors the team in real time and tracks every movement they make. The stakes are extremely high, as Overwatch is hunting for a missing cache of cesium, a rare and highly toxic substance capable of killing thousands if converted into a weapon. The operation escalates quickly when Alice and another operative pose as civilians, approaching the safe house under the pretense of asking for directions. Without warning, they toss a flashbang grenade inside, disorienting everyone within. Using the chaos to their advantage, the team storms the building with weapons drawn as backup forces move in. They detain 5 individuals inside the house, gathering them in the living room while taking photographs and checking identification. The team also confiscates multiple hard drives found on the premises. As this unfolds, Bishop detects a faint heat signature coming from inside the room. 2 agents investigate but find nothing but a wall. Suddenly, Bishop shouts a warning just as a gunshot rings out. Alice is hit and immediately fires back. At the same time, downstairs, an enemy combatant ambushes and kills one of the operatives. Moments later, the Russians activate a strange device, triggering a full-scale firefight inside the safe house. Gunfire erupts throughout the building as Overwatch engages the enemy from multiple angles. Despite the chaos, Silva's team manages to overpower their opponents and gain the upper hand. However, their success is short-lived. Flames quickly engulf the building, and police sirens can be heard closing in from every direction. Amid the confusion, a lone Russian operative escapes through a window. Silva notices him and, without hesitation, pursues the man outside. Ignoring the desperate pleas for mercy, Silva coldly executes him just as the safe house explodes in the background. With no time to spare, Overwatch retreats to their vehicle and speeds away from the burning wreckage. What initially feels like a decisive victory soon turned sour for Silva. Later, while watching a television news report, he learns that the man he executed was named Kuragin and was only 18 years old. The revelation hits Silva hard, stirring a mix of anger, guilt, and unease as the weight of his actions begins to settle in. 16 months pass and Overwatch is once again activated. Their new objective is to recover the cesium that mysteriously disappeared during the disastrous safe house raid. When the team retraces their steps, they find nothing but weapon caches and forged paintings, confirming that the substance was deliberately moved. Acting on credible intelligence, Silva and his unit track the cesium's trail to the city of Dokar. Recognizing the catastrophic danger posed by the material, Silva and his team head straight to the U.S. Embassy in the capital, stressing that if the cesium falls into the wrong hands, thousands of lives could be lost. Just as tensions rise, an unexpected development unfolds. A mysterious man approaches the gates of the U.S. Embassy, carrying a hard drive, and identifies himself as Noor. He calmly informs the guards that the drive contains the exact coordinates of the cesium Silva's team has been hunting. Recognizing the significance of his claim, Embassy security immediately escorts Noor into an interrogation room, where Silva and Overwatch begin assessing who he is and whether he can be trusted. A thorough background check reveals that Noor appears to be an ordinary police officer with no criminal history, no close family, and no notable social connections. On paper, he seems harmless. Despite this, Silva remains uneasy, unable to ignore his instincts about Noor's sudden appearance and perfectly timed information. Accessing the data on Noor's hard drive proves impossible without a password. Alice interrogates him directly, demanding the code, but Noor refuses to cooperate unless he is guaranteed safe extraction from Indokar. Making matters worse, the hard drives are designed to self-erase after each minute of use, leaving the team with only 8 hours before the data is permanently destroyed. To prove his credibility, Noor provides the location of a single cesium cache, hidden inside a counterfeit painting recovered from Karagin's safe house. The team investigates the lead and confirms that the cesium is real. Although this discovery supports Noor's claim, Silva still isn't fully convinced. To eliminate any remaining doubt, the team subjects Noor to an advanced lie detector test. The results back up his story, reinforcing the belief that he may be telling the truth, at least for now. As tensions continue to rise, the deputy foreign minister and Axel, the powerful head of Indokar's state intelligence agency, unexpectedly arrive at the U.S. Embassy. They demand that Silva immediately hand Noor over to them, offering no clear explanation for their request. Silva is immediately suspicious as the sudden appearance of 2 such high-ranking officials raises serious concerns. It becomes obvious to him that Noor is far more important than he initially appeared. Axel vaguely claims that Noor is a corrupt officer and warns that removing him from Indokar would lead to serious consequences. Not long after, events take a violent turn. While Noor is restrained and undergoing a medical examination, Axel's men somehow infiltrate the embassy and attempt to eliminate him. Despite being handcuffed, Noor fights back with remarkable efficiency, overpowering his attackers with ease. The disturbance draws the attention of Overwatch members Sam and Alice, who rush in and are stunned by Noor's combat abilities. At that moment, everything clicks. Noor is no ordinary policeman. He is a former member of Indokar's elite special forces. Although stunned by the revelation, Silva is equally impressed by Noor's abilities and immediately contacts Bishop and the rest of Overwatch, summoning them to Indokar. Silva ultimately agrees to a deal. He will help Noor escape the country in exchange for the password to the hard drive containing the cesium locations. Bishop quickly gathers the team and outlines the mission parameters. Overwatch is assigned to escort Noor from the U.S. Embassy to a nearby airstrip located 22 miles away, where an aircraft will extract him to the United States. Equipped with advanced technology and backed by some of the most skilled operatives available, Bishop and Silva reunite to carry out the high-risk operation. As the extraction begins, Noor starts opening up to Silva about his past. He explains that he is being hunted because he stood up against the corruption within the Indokar government, a regime responsible for murdering his family. His defiance turned him into a fugitive. However, the journey quickly proves dangerous. Axel mobilizes a specialized unit from Indokar's state intelligence agency, determined to intercept Silva's team and stop Noor from escaping at any cost. As the operation intensifies, Bishop suddenly loses visual contact with the team when his surveillance feed cuts out without warning. For several agonizing moments, Overwatch is left blind. When the feed finally comes back online, it's already too late. Axel's operatives have used the blackout to plant explosives on the transport vehicle. A massive explosion rocks the convoy, forcing Silva and his team into a desperate firefight as Axel's forces launch a relentless assault. In the violent chaos that follows, Sam is critically wounded. Barely able to stand, she urges Silva to continue the mission and get Noor to safety, insisting that she will stay behind to slow the attackers. Reluctantly, Silva hands her a pair of grenades, knowing exactly what she intends to do. With a heavy heart, he leaves her behind as she makes her final stand, sacrificing herself to eliminate the remaining enemy forces and give the team a chance to escape. With their numbers reduced and the mission growing increasingly dangerous, Silva, Noor, Alice, and another operative named William continue pushing forward. The loss of teammates weighs heavily on all of them, fraying nerves and pushing everyone to the brink. Running low on ammunition and patience, Silva snaps and points his gun at Noor, demanding the hard drive password immediately. Noor refuses to give in, standing his ground despite the threat. Recognizing the severity of the situation, Bishop directs them toward a temporary refuge, a restaurant operated by one of Overwatch's undercover assets. Inside, they discover a hidden cache of weapons and ammunition, giving them a brief chance to regroup. While Alice and William focus on loading weapons and preparing defenses, Silva notices Axel outside the restaurant, surrounded by a heavily armed perimeter of men. Bishop urgently warns Silva not to act impulsively, but Silva ignores the advice. Without hesitation, he walks straight toward Axel and firmly rejects his demand to hand over Noor, making it clear he has no intention of backing down. As Silva heads back toward the restaurant, he unknowingly passes two young women who appear harmless at first. A split second later, he realizes they have planted a grenade inside the building. Reacting instantly, Silva tackles nearby civilians out of harm's way just as the explosion detonates. When the smoke settles, William is gravely wounded, and Silva comes under immediate attack. Alice rushes to help William into the vehicle while Noor steps in, fighting alongside Silva to eliminate their attackers. The team speeds away under a barrage of gunfire, narrowly escaping the ambush. Their luck runs out moments later when an enemy vehicle slams into them. Surrounded and outnumbered, they follow Bishop's instructions and retreat into a nearby apartment building to seek cover. Axel's forces waste no time, storming the location with overwhelming force. In the ensuing assault, William is killed. Silva, Alice, and Noor manage to slip deeper into the apartment complex, guided by Bishop toward a rear parking area, but Axel's relentless pursuit continues without letting up. Amid the chaos inside the apartment complex, Alice becomes separated from Silva and Noor while trying to protect a young girl caught in the crossfire. Determined not to lose anyone else, Silva orders Bishop to cut the power to the building, plunging it into darkness. He then removes Noor's restraints, trusting him enough to help locate and rescue Alice. Elsewhere, Alice hides the frightened girl behind a mattress and plants an explosive on the apartment wall. The blast blows an opening, allowing them to move through and eliminate an enemy waiting on the other side. Alice tells the girl to stay hidden and behave before slipping into the hallway alone. Moving silently, she takes down one attacker and then kills another with her pistol, only to realize she has run out of ammunition. At the same time, Noor confronts multiple enemies head-on, showcasing extraordinary combat skills as he systematically dismantles everyone who stands in his way. Back with Alice, she is forced into a brutal fight with one of Axel's massive enforcers. Although she manages to cut his neck with a shard of glass, she is quickly overpowered in the uneven struggle. Just as she is being violently tossed around and pushed to her limit, Silva and Noor arrive. Using his precise shooting skills, Noor kills the henchman moments before Alice is defeated, saving her at the last possible second. The team bursts out of the apartment complex, hijacks a vehicle, and speeds onto the road toward the extraction point. Bishop feeds them the route as they race against the clock. With only 4 minutes left before the airstrip window closes, just when it seems they might make it, Axel reappears, still relentless and refusing to back down. With time running out, Silva makes a decisive call and orders Overwatch to neutralize Axel's vehicle using a precision drone strike. In an instant, Axel and his pursuit are wiped out, clearing the path to the airstrip. Once they arrive, Noor finally fulfills his promise and gives up the hard drive password. Bishop's team immediately inputs the code, revealing multiple hidden cesium locations scattered across the world. With the data secured, they search Noor and inform him that he is free to board the plane. At the same time, Bishop's system suddenly crashes, and a shocking image replaces the feed, Karagan's face. The realization hits instantly. Noor is a triple agent. The entire operation in Indocar was nothing more than a carefully staged distraction, masking a much larger and more sinister objective. The truth behind the entire operation is finally revealed. The architect of the scheme is Karagan's mother, a powerful figure within the Russian government, driven by a deep and personal desire for revenge after Silva executed her son. To carry out her plan, she recruited Noor as a triple agent, using him to feed false intelligence about the cesium to Alice and mislead Overwatch from the very beginning. Unaware of the trap closing around them, Silva instructs Alice to keep a close watch on Noor aboard the plane while he heads off to regroup with Bishop and the rest of the team. Suspicion spikes when Noor casually uses Bishop's classified codename, Mother, proving he knows far more about Overwatch than he should. At the same time, Bishop and his unit are ambushed by Karagan's mother's armed forces. The sudden and brutal assault leaves nearly everyone dead, with Bishop narrowly managing to escape and stagger outside for a brief moment of reprieve. Back on the plane, Alice notices something off, a guard's missing weapon, and quickly pieces the truth together. Noor is not who he claimed to be. Before she can act, gunfire erupts and Alice's fate is left uncertain. In the end, Karagan's mother achieves her true goal. Rather than killing Silva outright, she wants him to suffer the same pain she endured, the agony of losing everyone he cares about. Silva, finally understanding Noor's betrayal and the full scope of the revenge plot, is left with nothing but loss. He returns home alone, having lost his entire team. Filled with rage and grief, Silva vows to take revenge on those responsible, starting with Noor. And that is how it ended. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.